7 o'clock, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Everyone, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And after the pledge, if you would remain standing, we'd like to have a moment of silence for the victims and our first responders who were injured in that horrific shooting a week and a half ago. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you would just join me in a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Cook.
Here.
Losman.
Present.
Butcher.
Here.
Luszewski.
Here.
Frieders. Funkhauser.
Here.
Chirulis.
Here.
Peterson. Quorum is established.
Do we have any amendments to tonight's agenda? Hearing none, we do have one presentation, not on the agenda. But I would like to bring forward and recognize the officers, 3 of our officers, who were among the first on the scene at the shooting, and were actually in the building while it was still an active shooting situation. So if Officers Fizzemeyer, Coulomb, and Hayes would come forward, and Chief.
All right, as most of you know, the Aurora shooting was a week and a half ago, it'll be 2 weeks ago this Friday. And when that first call came out over our dispatch to request assistance, the 3 officers here were our officers that responded immediately there. Just to go back a little bit further on this, our police department's been training for probably the last 20 plus years in active response to shooting incidents. And we have trained extensively with the other departments in our area. We've equipped the officers with special equipment for those types of responses. And this day kind of brought out, you know, as unfortunate as it was, the best in our training. It showed that, you know, we were prepared for an incident like this. We learned a lot of lessons on a lot of different levels. But when these officers responded on the scene, we went to a debrief today, actually, just before we went to this meeting, where all the participants in Cumberland County and some of the Aurora actually debriefed the situation. It was chaotic, very chaotic. There were obviously people injured, people dead. There's still a shooter in the building. That was a prolonged event. All 3 of the officers were in the building when there was still shooting going on in different various types of roles. But they brought out the best in our department that day. We're really proud of them. And another twist on this is all 3 of these officers are also trainers within our department in different disciplines, whether it's firearms, response to active shooters, and hands-on type of stuff. So the lessons they learned that day are going to be important for our future. Hopefully nothing like that ever occurs again, but if it does, you know, rest assured we are a lot better prepared. We're just very proud of them.
Thank you, Kevin. So you make Yorkville proud. Okay, do we have any citizen comments on items that are on the agenda this evening? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Lister.
Aye.
Luszewski.
Aye.
Chirulis.
Aye.
Funkhauser.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Butcher.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the special city council meeting of January 29th, 2019 as presented.
So moved.
Second. Any comments, questions, or corrections on the minutes? All those in favor of approving as presented, please state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, on the mayor's report, I will entertain a motion to approve a resolution accepting BSN Sports LLC's bid to provide 2019 youth baseball and softball league uniforms and equipment, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions?
I guess a comment and a question. I'll do the question first. How was it put out to bid? I don't remember. Was it in the paper? How did we?
It was in the paper. We've seen some nodding heads at the table. And it was on the city's website.
Okay. And just a comment. When we go out to bid, and I sent an email out on this, can we? It's just nice to see who all comes in and how many
Yes.
we get and stuff. So if we can do that in the future, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, we talked about that. It should be a default for
All right. Thank you.
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
I heard Carlos so moved. Did you second?
Check.
Cook,
Aye.
Butcher,
Aye.
Truist,
Aye.
Lozima,
Aye.
Funkasser,
Aye.
Krasinski.
Hi.
Motion passes.
I will entertain a motion to accept the sealed bid from Mr. DeBag, in the amount of $6,068, and authorize the mayor to sign the title on behalf of the city.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Cook,
Aye.
Butcher,
Aye.
Truist,
Aye.
Lozima,
Aye.
Funkasser,
Aye.
Krasinski.
Hi.
Motion passes.
I will entertain a motion to approve an ordinance providing for the issuance of United City of Yorkville, Kendall County, Illinois Special Service Area Number 2003-101, Special Tax Refunding Bond, Series 2019, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
So moved.
Second.
So this is for the Windet Ridge SSA. With this refinancing, should save the residents of Windet Ridge roughly a minimum of 250, I'd say, roughly.
It's absolutely over 200, 225 to 250, yes.
Okay.
And our underwriter is nodding absolutely yes.
Okay, we're gonna hold you to that.
As a resident of Windet Ridge, I will be voting for this.
Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Butcher,
Aye.
Truist,
Aye.
Lozima,
Aye.
Funkasser,
Aye.
Krasinski,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, before we leave mayor's report, the chamber dinner was just this last Thursday. I made a couple announcements at the chamber dinner that I would like to share with everybody. We have another new business coming to Yorkville. It's going to be a gas and wash. And if anyone has seen the one in Plainfield on Droughton and 126, very nice gas station. It's going to have about a 5,500 square foot convenience store, filling station, car wash, dog wash, a drive-through Dunkin' Donuts. And it's about a $7 million investment and creating a bunch of new jobs. So that's going to be located on 34 on the west side, over by the Advocate over there. So we just had a meeting with them last week, and they are very excited, and they want to be open this year. Another announcement I had was at the Chamber of Commerce. There's a big push right now to recruit premier members. We're already a premier member, and we want to go a little bit above and beyond that. I know years ago when we had a YEDC, we donated quite a bit of money to the YEDC. So we're going to up our contribution to the chamber a little bit. Instead of the $2,500 premier membership fee, we're going to go up to $5,000 for the chamber, just because we see the value, and a strong chamber definitely helps the community. So that's all I have. There is no Public Works Committee report, Economic Development Committee report. I will turn it over to Alderman Koch.
We got 3 items. Item 1, motion to approve an ordinance approving a third amendment to the annexation agreement and planned unit development agreement, Grand Reserve subdivision, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
Second.
Comments or questions?
Yeah, I have that.
Yes, sir.
This is obviously up in Alderman Peterson's ward. He called me today, he just wanted me to relay to the council that he had some questions or trepidation about the proposal. He wanted us to discuss it openly at the meeting today, but based on my conversation with some of the aldermen, I think we can discuss it, but I eventually, once we have discussion, I will probably be moving to table this. I won't do that at this point because I want to leave it open for discussion, but that's probably going to be my intent unless there's an overwhelming objection from the rest of you to table this issue, so.
And before we go any further, why don't Bart or Christie, you want to give us a little background on this for the audience here, Christie?
Sure. So the petitioner is NBR, which is one of the builders in the Grand Reserve. And they are building within the colonies, which are the units that are the villa-sized, single-family detached in the northern part of the Grand Reserve. Right now, there exists an exhibit in the annexation agreement that limits the split of bedrooms to no more than 50% for 2 bedrooms and no more than 50% for 3 bedrooms. The builder has had a diverse amount of purchases in that area, and they've heard some comments from buyers that they are looking for the 3 bedroom, believe that they are empty nesters, they like the extra bedroom for whatever purposes, and for the space of storage. So they are looking to eliminate just that clause. We do have a caveat that there can be no more 4-bedroom units. There were 2 approved, I think 1 or 2 approved already. And just for marketing purposes, and they feel that if they get this relief, that then they can move into the unplatted section of the Grand Reserve development, which includes 23, 26, and 27, to finish out the development. The petitioner is here tonight. There's a representative from NBR and the actual owner of the subdivision, which is the bonding property. If you have any additional questions.
Okay. So yeah, it's basically the issue. Obviously, the 3 bedrooms are more marketable, but with it, I mean, it brings more kids more than likely, and more stress on the school district. So I'll open it up. Yes.
So just to clarify, this area is not age restricted for the villas?
Correct, it's not.
This area currently is not what?
Age restricted?
I just bought in there, and when we first bought, we were told it wasn't age restricted, but we were told that it was an adult community, and that it would only have 2 bedrooms, and we could not have a swing set, we could not have, in fact, I was going to read before I came here tonight, all the R&Rs, exactly what it said, but we were under the impression that it was an adult community.
And ma'am, would you please state your name for the record?
Helen Brown, like the color.
Thank you. Were you done, Jackie?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify
Chris?
that.
It isn't each targeted community. It's not restricted by deed, but it's targeted. That's the intent. That's why there's small lots, average size homes, but they are intended to be targeted for a 55 and older group. And that's where the CCRs and R&Rs, that's where they have the restrictions. So like you can't have certain amenities, but you can have others. When I asked for the breakdown of where the bedroom counts were, and it was around 84%, I think, was at 3 bedroom. So I know when you're building and you still have a lot of units, you're probably not going to be monitoring, trying to keep at that 50-50 ratio. But now I don't see where they would have hit that 50-50 ratio just based on what the demand was. Personally, I don't really see an issue with the type of change, but the school district does have a concern because they know that this was targeted. It was a product that was had an assumed ratio of students coming through it, and this has potential to increase that, and I know that's where the school district has their concern based on the transition fees that were locked in, prepaid partially. These were not prepaid, these are coming in still. But it is not what the current rate is, I don't believe, or is this locked at the 3,000?
I believe this one is 3,000.
3,000. So, but the greater impact is the student count on, a higher percentage of 3-bedroom homes. That's where the district has their concern. And I get that right now they're currently going through studies to try to figure out growth within the district and how to deal with the shortage of space that they are saying they have right now. I agree that we need to look at this a little more closely, I think, just because of what some of the expectations are for the people who are in the neighborhood already and what this was planned at. I think from a development standpoint, it makes sense to make the change.
there also do need to be a little cognizant of what the district's needs are, and what they have expectations for. But from the city side, they knew that this was not age restricted, that there could be students in there. So I think everybody's eyes are wide open when this agreement was done, 15 years ago. So that's it.
Anyone else? Joe?
Yeah, in the memo it says, according to the minutes from the school board meeting, does the digital ones have a minute? Because the print one does not.
Sorry, it's the digital.
They have the minutes from the school board meeting.
Yeah. It said see attached and they're not attached.
And they're
Yeah.
not attached.
They're not attached.
Not digitally.
Not in shape either.
Yeah, they want to be in the paper either.
Yeah, they were in the paper one, so.
Doesn't look like it.
Apologize for that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, my 2 cents kind of corresponds with what all the phone counselors said. It is my understanding that even though about a third of the lots are built out, 84% of them are 3 bedrooms at this point, but we still have a extremely low number of students occupying that 84% of 3 bedrooms.
Correct.
Because I think it's not only the bedroom that limits this neighborhood being attractive to children. It's also the limited backyards, the limited, restrictions and covenants and restrictions that are on this. So I don't think that's I supported this in committee, switching it to 3 bedrooms. I still support it. And the basis for my support is that I don't think that 3 bedrooms is what's going to, price point, lot sizes, backyard restrictions, I don't think will make this an attractive neighborhood to your average family of children, nonetheless. I think the proof is in the pudding with 84% of these units being 3 bedrooms, and we still have literally a handful of students that live in this area. So, just like everything else that I've been saying the 8 years I've been on this council, is that we need to fill in the lots that are sitting empty in the city. We haven't approved new subdivisions, and we won't approve new subdivisions, but these lots need to be filled in. So I will continue to approve it. Yes, sir.
Just as a general rule on school-aged children expected out of a dwelling unit, our land cash ordinance estimates, I think it's a little bit less than 1 kid per new home that's built. And so that's based on case law and studies from decades ago. So you would expect with 60-ish homes built, we would have 60 kids coming out of there. And so the fact that we only have 3 is well below what we would expect.
That was my question. I was wondering how many kids we actually have in there now. So it's like great.
Yeah, the school district told us there were 3 kids currently coming out of the entire colony's area.
Yes, sir. Go on. Yeah, please state your name for the record.
Yeah, I just want to say, I think we skipped citizen comments, right? So we're on the agenda.
No, we didn't.
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
I must have missed it.
Yeah, if anyone wants to speak, go
Okay, I'm
ahead.
sorry. I can't remember.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thanks. The name is Dean Edmeyer. I'm the representative for Avanti Properties Group, which is a developer and owner of the parcel known as Neighborhood 1. And just wanted to clear up a couple of items on a general basis before turning it over to the builder, the representative from the builder who's also here. The restriction that Christie referenced, the 50%, applies to Neighborhood 1. There are actually 270 units approved in Neighborhood 1. So at this juncture, the split would be 135. Wanted to keep that in mind in the sense that you are 63 homes in to a 270 unit project. So the percentages was slightly different from that regard. The other piece is that as a developer, NVR brought this request to us just within the last few months. They started out there in terms of a contract and getting started in 2017. And when they started under the existing restrictions. Neither we nor they thought of requesting this at the time. It's a market-driven request is what I'm getting to. The homes that are being sold, what the people are requesting, and the success of NVR to date is largely due to that. We as the developer have an allocation out there for, as I said, 135 three bedrooms under the existing agreement. We've allowed them to use that allotment up front in order to try to get the finished lot spurred and moving forward, once they came forward to us. That's how we've kind of come to this position. As to the low ratio of students, which I'll let Scott talk to in a moment here, one thing that I would note, and Scott I'll let him get into those details, but with the 3 students per 63 thus far that Bart referenced, and Scott will detail this in a little more detail as far as what homes are selling for and what's going on there. But it's our view, it's a lifestyle purchase, right? If you're a young family and looking for value in space, no offense to my home builder standing behind me, but you can find a lot more house for the same amount of money elsewhere in Grand Reserve or elsewhere in Yorkville. So we believed for those reasons it made sense to join NVR, Ryan Homes, in their request. And I'll let Scott Shelton from Ryan Homes speak to some of those other matters.
Hello, good evening. My name is Scott Shelton. I'm representative from Ryan Homes. Thanks for allowing us to be here tonight. As Dean mentioned, this is a request based on the market demand that we've seen since we've been open, and I think if you look at the Metro study reports, you'll find that this is probably one of, if not one of the most successful communities in the greater Chicagoland area. It is, to Ms. Brown's comment, it is absolutely an age-targeted community, and that's the intention to continue to go forward by the characteristics that's been mentioned this evening, the small lots, the maintenance that's provided in the community, some of the covenants and restrictions that are attached to the community that would likely inhibit a family, such as the swing sets and some of the things that a normal family with children might seek. So the intention is absolutely to continue to offer ranch homes to an age-targeted buyer. It is not age-restricted. NVR has done a couple other age-targeted communities in the greater Chicago area, and we find that in a typical age-targeted community, we get 20% of our buyers that may be 50 to 54, so they're not 55, but which is the federal requirement to be age-restricted, you need to be 55. So we didn't feel like, they may still be an empty nester, they just may be a slightly younger empty nester. So we didn't want to certainly take off a portion of the market, but it certainly is meeting the demographic that we're attempting to do and to be an adult age-targeted community. As mentioned, we did meet with the school board. The report that we got was that there were 3 children, as mentioned here this evening. And as Dean did mention, there are affordable alternatives for young families in the greater area. The ranches by nature, by being a single story, are not your most efficient home, but they're meant to be a lifestyle play because they're first floor living. Our average price per square foot on a home in this particular community is significantly higher than, for example, the D.R. Horton community, 2-story homes, which are offered in the same community by a significant amount, and 2-story homes that NVR offers in Caledonia. So there are much more different alternatives, price per square foot, affordable alternatives for that family. So again, we think our marketing efforts combined with the product, the maintenance, the maintenance there is roughly $150 a month, which is another deterrent to a family because it's required. It's not optional. And so that also reduces the purchasing power that a young family might have in other alternatives where they don't have to have that. So therefore, the market, as we've seen, as Dean mentioned, based on what was built in the community before we started building, plus what we built, 84%, our ratio is actually skewed a little higher. We're even just like just under 90% from what we've seen from our demand since we've been building in there in the last 12 to 18 months. We believe that the 3 bedrooms meets the market from what they're telling us. It's a better resale value for those customers as well from an appraisal standpoint. And we would appreciate your support for making that change so we can continue to build forward into the 270 lots that Dean mentions.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I think the 3 bedroom still makes perfect sense for empty nesters. You have a bedroom for the husband, bedroom for the wife. For the office.
I will be good.
Okay, any other comments or questions on this one? And do we still want to table it? So our other aldermen are here?
I would move to, I mean, I support it, but I would move to table it in deference to Alderman Peterson and his support. So I would make a motion to table it back to EDC.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Truist,
Aye.
Colissimo,
Aye.
Funkelsler,
Aye.
Olszewski,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Fletcher.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, so we will see this again in 2 weeks.
Well, okay,
Yeah, we
my
didn't say-
motion was to take it back to EDC, but
Yeah.
Do we want to take it back to EDC or back to city council in 2 weeks?
can I amend my motion? While we-
Sure. But just where we
Exactly.
send it.
Yeah, I will present my motion, bring it back here in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Bring it back here.
That makes more sense, yeah.
Yeah, bring it back to council.
Yep,
Same motion.
yes. Okay, back to you, Alderman Coe.
Okay. Item number 2, motion to approve a resolution approving a professional service agreement with Oslo Line Associates Incorporated, contract award for Unified Development Ordinance, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
We have a second?
Second.
And we have a presentation, Christie? Why don't we do the presentation and we'll open up for any questions. Actually, quite an impressive presentation.
Okay, thank you. It's a little dark in here. I hope everyone can see the slides. I want to give a brief presentation. My name is Carly Peterson. I am an associate in Calciel Levine Associates. We are a planning and design firm based in Chicago. The firm has been in existence for the last 14 years, and the founding principals are John Calciel and Devin Levine. Primarily, our firm is planning, design, economic development. We work nationwide across all different types of scales of projects, looking at downtown plans, zoning ordinances, comprehensive planning, those types of projects related to land development primarily. And we have national experience, like I mentioned presently. I believe we're at 25 states, if not more, that we've been actively engaged in different communities. That said, we are also an Illinois firm, and a lot of our work is also based in the state of Illinois. In 2014, our firm was recognized by the American Planning Association as one of the most engaging virgin planning firms, and basically are innovators within the planning world. And it's a great firm to get a lot of experience looking at a different variety of projects for myself personally. I've been having a great time working there. So we do have a number of different values related to being innovative about projects, which I'll talk about a little bit with regard to the Unified Development Ordinance. The quality of our projects, we take pride in great community and public engagement work within our projects as well. So this is just a list, not a comprehensive list, but 22 of the projects up here are zoning projects that are in the state of Illinois. So we do have, we're bringing a lot of experience to the table with regard to development ordinance, zoning ordinance, subdivision control ordinance revisions, and we are recognized experts in the field in that there have been publications that have come, these are zoning practice publications that have come up through the American Planning Association from our firm. So we put together a proposal for the United States of Yorkville. The Unified Development Ordinance Proposal Team is here. Mr. Housel would have liked to have been here this evening to speak with you all. He had a prior engagement. Now, he will be the overseeing director. He is our primary principal and will be overseeing the project. Also, Nick Davis will be looking at aligning this, so we are ensuring that the plan and the ordinance is in alignment with the goals for the community. That's me in the middle, and I will be project manager, so working pretty closely with Christy and Jason and those people that are on staff here in the town to make sure, with the city, to make sure everything is rolling along. I'll be working with Jackie Wells and with Tricia Stevens to put together graphics and make sure all of the ordinance, the revisions, everything that goes within the code is working together smoothly. So our approach to zoning at House of Levine is just that. It's working with your comprehensive plan, with the ideas that have already been set forth in the vision for your community, so that those get implemented into your regulations. So we don't want to be in conflict with any of the previous notions for the community that come from public input. Then we go through and organize everything thoughtfully, making sure that the plan, so your ordinance really needs to be working for the city so that you don't come into conflict with developments. We have flexible standards that people who want to move to the community understand, and developers who want to come work in the community also understand and can work with it easily. We work also to eliminate non-conformities. So non-conformities are pieces of property that might not fit particularly within a zone. We want to make sure that regulations aren't creating situations where there's conflict with property owners that create a lot of hassle administratively for staff. So things like variations and those types of amendments that come before the planning and zoning commission. So we'll look at updating, modernizing standards, making sure the types of development and design requirements that you're putting in are up to date. So you don't want to be building parking lots like they used to. We want to build parking lots like a modern parking lot. We want to have the right stormwater management techniques, appearance, those types of things. So we ultimately want to make something that's visually a very comprehensive document, easy to understand, and also well illustrated too. Okay, so here I'm going to go through pretty quickly the process for drafting the plan. This is a 2-year project. Over the course of 2 years, it's an 8-step project. Starting out with a kickoff where we'll meet with staff. We'll also set up a workshop with the Planning and Zoning Commission. We'll be looking at residential area workshops, commercial and industrial area workshops, zoning ordinance focus groups. All of these different workshops will be with targeted audiences so that we can get an idea up front of what the issues and the opportunities are in the community. Another thing I'll mention regarding the workshops and regarding the upfront engagement is that anytime you're working with the ordinance, you're developing regulatory language. So that isn't something that's very engaging for the public up front. What we really want to do is throughout the process give an opportunity for the public to come back, engage with the content that we provided online, and then give us comments and feedback. So one of the ways that we do that, pardon me, one of the ways that we do that is with a project website. Another way that we do that is with an engaging tool that's online, that's a map that the user can click, point at something in the city and say, this is a bad intersection, I'm always driving through this intersection, it gives me a hassle. Click it on the map, note it, and people can vote on the map and say, I like that comment. And so that's one of the ways that we collect information, map it, and that can be used in GIS for the staff to look at those comments too. So lots of public engagement. The next thing that we do over the course of the project is take a look at what you have in place right now. So we know what you have regarding code. There are a number of different ordinances, zoning, subdivision, appearance codes, stormwater management ordinance, looking at a lot of different types of codes. So how do we put this all together into one package that's really understandable for the community, for developers, for residents, okay? So we'll put together an applicability memo, making sure that we've gone through crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's with regard to the code. Every time we have a step, we come back, we have a working session with staff, we'll bring it forward to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay. So here we have drafted district standards, that's step 3. At this point in time, we actually begin to drafting the code. So we'll be looking at residential and agricultural district standards,
commercial and industrial district standards, and standards for special use districts too. And at this point in time, we don't know whether or not we'll be making adjustments to the zoning map. But we do know that likely within each zoning district, we will have changes to the regulations or shifts within regulations within districts. So this is the time when we'll also take a close look at the zoning map. And again, review with staff. General development standards are those standards that no matter what you're building, these standards apply to every type of use. And so with regard to landscaping, sign ordinances, screening, anything related to parking, and it can be very specific. Those are the type of regulations that we'll draft under step 4 and come back and take a look at that with staff. And then we'll get into compatibility and best practices within your subdivision code. So how land is actually split up, what the size of lots are, how wide streets need to be, how many trees you need to plant in a subdivision. All those types of regulations can be modernized. Also in the instance where you have a community like Yorkville, where we heard tonight, you have a lot of instances where there are unfinished subdivisions. We'll take a look at that and see how we can prevent that from happening in an administrative process in the future. Or at least to make it easier for the city to move things along and have agreements that are actually beneficial for the public good. That falls also under our administrative process. So step 6, we take a look at all the variation procedures, looking at how amendments are made to the plan, looking at who does what, so establishing the order for your planning, and all those procedures. So those are something that we'll bring back, again, review with staff, take to plan commission, and so everyone can understand those. Finally, when we get to step 7, we're looking at a final draft ordinance that would likely be it will be far less than the 2-year time frame that we'd be looking at for a draft ordinance. We leave a good amount of time for the adoption process, which is a public process. So the staff would review the draft ordinance. We take and put together all of the feedback that we've been collecting throughout the project, and then we also would take the same kind of feedback from planning and zoning commission and from this group here. So then you would go forward with the adoption process. So step 8 is something that's unique for Yorkville, and this is something that was a request through the RFP package. That was to do a smart code integration. Now, smart code is something that's really cool. It's how you review your ordinance online and also make it interactive, so that the end user really has a clear picture and an easy way to understand what exactly the laws are regarding land use and development. So we have teamed with Encode Plus. They are a company that offers the smart code technology, and specifically for this project, we're going to be looking at doing online code deployment. So what that means is as we're drafting the code, people who are closely associated with the project will be able to review it online and make comments. And in addition to that, we have options for how the code gets displayed in the end. Okay, so one reason that this is really cool, I'm going to show you a few instances. This is the city of Las Vegas, which is why it's bright pink. It was the most fun example I could find of an Encode Plus deployment. And it really is a great technology. And my understanding is that, because Mr. Housefield knows Brett Keast, who is owner of Kennedy Keast Collaborative, and they are the owners of Encode Plus, we've been able to come up with an agreement to offer the service to Yorkville. And the Unified Development Code for Las Vegas is one of the users for this. And you can see all of the chapters on the left. It's got all of the code. It's really easy to read and clear to read. It clicks into all your visualizations. And then if you go into it and you do a search, like here I searched for animal clinic because somebody wants to build a new animal clinic in town. You see all of the references to things like use, what zones it's permitted in. So I find out it's permitted in office zones in Las Vegas. and I click through and I find out what the regulations are for animal clinics and office, and so what the definitions are. And then I can go further into it and look at, what my setbacks need to be, what my design standards, height regulations, all those types of core-based considerations need to be. And then I go one step further and I can actually calculate what my requirements are based on Code 3 and Code Plus calculators. So this one has, for Las Vegas, they have parking, landscaping requirements, sign size requirements. So I go in and I put in how many, it's an animal clinic, how many employees do I have, because that's what their parking standard is based on. So I put that in, I put in how many vets I have, how much staff, and then it just tells me exactly how many parking spaces, and that's the you're right, it's like you need 15 spaces. And so the calculator will do all of that for you. I think that's pretty neat. Also the landscaping one will tell you, I said, I have a lot, it's 100 feet deep, how many trees do I need to plant between the properties? And it'll tell you how many tree shrubs and those things based on the code. And that's great because it can vary based on zone. So it could be different in the office zone and it is in a different zone. And although these are complex laws and regulations, we want to make them very easy to understand and streamline. So the tool is really great. The other thing, this is a drop down, when you look at it, it lets you show all of the previous versions of the regulations. So that's really great because you can say, you can see how the rules have changed over time. And that archival portion of the regulation can be great, especially for planning. We know that zone and subdivision control ordinances do require a fair bit of upkeep. So being able to see all the different types of code regulation and how they change is useful. So I would be happy to take any questions with regard to us looking at the proposal. And thank you for having me. It's really nice to get to know everyone. Dr. Paul, Christy, and Jason. So I look forward very much to the project.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
One question, and I don't know if we discussed it at committee, but what do you think the impact for additional personnel going forward? Will the software allow you to do more with less that way, or we never really discussed that part at committee.
I don't know if it'll allow me to do more with less. It'll allow me to do more with what I have.
More quickly.
Right, quickly, more efficiently, and it'll allow me to come to the same conclusion as the residents, so that they're not miscalculating things or having discussions, why did you calculate it that way? It'll allow us to come to the same conclusion together.
Anyone else?
Yes, sir. It was very thorough during the economic development committee discussion when we had that in there. Just going through and tinkering with some of the other UDOs that are out there, municipalities. Will this allow you to save a project midstream once we implement this, so that somebody comes in, they start working on it, and they actually log in, we ever use their save projects and work on it, or is it on the fly? Because that's what I came across with a couple of them is there wasn't any signing, you weren't able to work in progress.
No export function.
Right, and I just want to make sure that you can actually save it, or have some way of keeping that data, not losing your space. Because I see this as a great tool for trying to work through planning processes, and we talked about being able to actually submit digitally much more quickly.
That I don't know. We can talk with them in Code Plus when we get into it.
Okay. I'll be big on the technical side of it.
I didn't even think about that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Chimilis? Aye. Colosimo?
Aye.
Moncazar?
Aye.
Oshowski?
Aye.
Coe?
Aye.
Clocher?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, third item is my motion to approve an ordinance establishing time limits for parking on West Van Am Street and authorizing mayor and city clerk to execute.
So moved. Or second.
Secretary. Comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Colosimo,
Aye.
Funkelsler,
Aye.
Wilczewski,
Aye.
Coe,
Aye.
Wiltshire,
Aye.
Rulis.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, we have no public safety or admin committee reports, nothing from park board. Moving on to planning and zoning commission, I will entertain a motion to approve an ordinance approving the final plat of the Boomba re-subdivision and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
So moved. Second.
Comments or questions?
Ken can have it.
I think Ken beat you.
I think Ken beat me.
Comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Funkelsler,
Aye.
Wilczewski,
Aye.
Coe,
Aye.
Wiltshire,
Aye.
Rulis,
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I will entertain a motion to approve an ordinance amending the Yorkville zoning ordinance by allowing massage establishments into the office zoning district and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Wilczewski,
Aye.
Coe,
Aye.
Wiltshire,
Aye.
Rulis,
Aye.
Colosimo,
Aye.
Funkelsler.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I will entertain a motion to authorize staff to notify Kendall County that the city council does not have any objections to the rezoning petition. That is a 1.5 mile review, 9 South 661 Jeter Road.
So moved.
Second.
Yes, Jackie. Comments or questions? Oh, it says notify Kendall County, but it's Kane County.
Kane County, right?
Should that say Kane
I
County?
thought you said.
And here it says Kendall. In my motion, it says Kendall. Authorize staff to notify Kendall County. Okay, notify Kane County. Notify them both. Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Coe,
Aye.
Wiltshire,
Aye.
Rulis,
Aye.
Colosimo,
Aye.
Funkelsler,
Aye.
Wilczewski.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I will entertain a motion to approve an ordinance approving the neighborhood design manual for the United City of Yorkville traditional neighborhood area and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
So moved.
Second.
Comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Coe,
Aye.
Wiltshire,
Aye.
Rulis,
Aye.
Colosimo,
Aye.
Funkelsler,
Aye.
Wilczewski. Aye. Motion passes.
No city council report. Is there a city clerk's report? Any community and liaison reports? Yes, sir.
This one. I conveyed this via email last night, but the school board recognized the assistance with the Public Works Department for the salting operations. They were very appreciative of the help that you guys have been offering each other, so thank you.
Any staff reports?
No reports?
Eric, you want to show off your new sign?
Oh, I feel good, yeah.
Yeah. Get your camera ready.
Slow down. Taxpayer money. Slow down.
Oh, look at
We'll
that.
open up on Cannonball Trail tomorrow, weather permitting. So we'll have one in each direction.
In other words, slow down.
Absolutely. And we have 4 others that we can put throughout town throughout the year, so
And they are,
we're going to be prepared.
they are solar, so we shouldn't have to do anything with them. And what other little gimmicks does it have? I know it'll do traffic counts, and we can even program it to where if they're going too fast, it'll shine a bright light at them, like taking a picture.
All right.
Yeah, we can make the lights flash red if they're over a certain speed. So, many things we can do in that regard, and I think the hidden benefit is the traffic. I think that'll help us a lot.
Yep. All right.
Question. So how are you gonna mount these? Are they gonna be on like a
portable pole?
Some will, but these we're gonna mount right on poles that are existing there. Just so, because the ground's frozen, it's hard to track the poles right.
Try running for office.
Yeah. There's some hard ground.
Any other staff reports?
No reports.
Any additional business? Yeah, we're getting to that in 1 second. No additional business? Executive session, I was told we don't need, so we won't have an executive session.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kathy. And now, citizen comments.
I wanted a comment to talk about.
How are you? I said, hi. We just shortened the 3-minute rule. If you don't already know who I am, I'm her. I wanted to bring to the council tonight a letter I was given. 10 years ago, the county owned the old jail on 111 West Madison. And they were working very hard to get through their studies of what they wanted to do with the building, and they eventually it fell into your hands, the building. I have a letter here that I'm going to read to you that I was just made aware of in the last week. Just for your knowledge, I don't know how to change stuff, I just would like to share. I am not going to disclose actually the name who it's to because I have not had permission yet. So I will read it to whom it may concern. The Illinois EPA received your letter dated September 8th requesting the determination on the regulation of lead-based paint removed from the old Kendall County Jail and Sheriff's residence in Yorkville. Pursuant of 35 Illinois Admin Code Section 721-104B1, the structure described in your letter meets the definition of household. Therefore, any waste generated from the removal of lead-based paint from the structure is exempt from regulations to hazardous waste under the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. Please note, however, that all waste generated during the removal must be containerized as not to allow exposure to waste removal on personnel to the lead-based paint. So and it's just saying you still have to get rid of it. So that's really what that is. So the reason why I wanted to bring that to you guys today is because I wanted to, how that may change the RFP online that's out to the public right now for people that are working on bids for the property and building, how that may change the level of removal that needs to be done. Yes. And then the exposure, what else needs to be removed, because the city website, it's around $7,000 in the EMG report, it's estimated to remove all of that. So I don't know with this new regulation, if that goes down, for people putting bids in, if they don't need to estimate, a certain amount. Most of that lead is in the garage structure. So I just want to make you aware, that's not the original structure, what most people are focusing on too. So I just wanted to maybe get a feedback and answer for something like that. What would that answer be? Does that change the RFP status online for people to see? Because it's zoned as commercial, but in this letter, it's household.
I mean, off the top of my head, I'm not a construction
Is this a question for Pete then?
expert. I know that we've looked into it, Pete, if you can opine off the top of your head.
We've already had the preliminary EPA study done by Midwest Environmental. That was made the bid for the demolition of the building. So that phase of the process is done. We have that available to whoever wants it. That was Midwest Environmental did it. It's required before we go off and bid on anything construction-wise to the building.
So let me see if I can boil this down. So you're saying that the lead paint has to be removed? That's your position?
No, my position is we have a report from Midwest Environmental detailing where the lead is in the building. If it is rehab, it needs to meet the state standard for rehabilitation, which is a lead certified contractor. It doesn't change anything as far as the sealed bid process. We have already identified where all the lead is at, through the whole structure, and a tiny bit of asbestos in there. So it shouldn't change anything to us.
Thank you. That's really my question. I didn't know.
You said there's asbestos, right?
There's a small portion, I believe, Blake from Midwest Environmental said it was about a 2-foot long piece of pipe rack.
Because if you have asbestos, they're gonna seal it up anyhow to get rid of that.
Yeah, it was part of the process where we needed remediation.
That's really good. I all that to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk. My name is Carol Sheila, and I was last year at the November 13th meeting. I was very encouraged by all the positive actions and the involvement by landmarks of Illinois. I was particularly encouraged by the promissory note that prevention of further deterioration would be done by the target of the damaged areas on the road. I guess I should take enough notes that night. I don't know who was supposed to see that that got done, but it's quite visible from the street, and even more so from the windows in the old courthouse. Those holes are still there, but it's taken an awful lot of snow and water this year. I'm very discouraged that that's happened. Not that I expect you guys to walk there, climb up there yourselves, but something needs to be done, and I wish I had been aware of it sooner and come back to you because we had an awful lot of moisture. I don't know if anything can be done now about it.
Well, actually, and part of you helped me out here, the contractor did go out there and wasn't going to do a temporary fix on the roof. But apparently, damage was so bad that they couldn't do a temporary fix without some redesign work.
Yeah, we've been through a couple contractors. One of them went up there without our authorization, couldn't fix it. Went up there again later, told us that they could fix it, but it would be much more money, and then declined to do the work after that. So I realize I owe everybody a timeline of back and forth between groups and city staff. So hopefully that'll be something tomorrow. We are now on our second contractor, estimating the cost at upwards of $8,000. So that's something that we are entertaining. We're going to get feedback on before we authorize it, try to get funds that are available for Landmarks Illinois and the residents groups, but both of which have said that they want some sort of commitment from us for keeping the building before they release any funds to us, which is a bit of an issue with the RFP being outstanding. So that's where it sits. We've had a couple contractors now give us varying prices, one of which is now working on 3 times. And it's either been not successful or then declined to do the work afterwards.
So we did look into it, but unfortunately it did not get done.
It's very disappointing. Because I think it could have been somebody could charge a vote. I'm very disappointed, and I think anybody who's looking to give a proposal is going to wonder why there's so much damage. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yep, thank you. Any other citizen comments? If not, meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Yeah.